couple of funny reasons. Every day on this podcast, I use this background on purpose. Kind of a funky looking Salvador Dali thing with some, I don't know, weird stuff on it. Kind of looks like a skull in the desert. But needles, for me, are a big deal. And there's a song that, baby, that took the needles out of me. I ain't blind no more. The light has come. It's a miracle I can see. Nothing's like it was before. So that's the first verse of a song called Invitation. And if you want to hear the whole thing, I recorded it a couple of months ago on one of these lives. And if you care enough to hear it, you can go back and dig it up. Pretty soon it'll be on the Spotify and everything else in 2 or 3 weeks. Because I'm releasing another album with 3 songs on it, a small album, EP, I guess, with 3 songs called Oasis, and that's one of them. But the reason it starts with, baby, they took the needles out of me, is because when I died in 2018, on June 5th, 2018, I was full of needles. I had, at the time, an unknown illness, and it was killing me. And I was in the intensive care unit of the University of Alberta Medical Center here in Edmonton. And my heart stopped. I died officially and all that stuff. And I was in a coma they were able to restart my heart. And the story about that, I had a near-death experience, and I wrote about that in Meeting God at the Door. Conversations, choices, and commitments of a near-death experience, if you want to read about it. But anyway, when I came to, it was 17 days later. So I was in a coma for 17 days, even though they'd restarted my heart. And what I remember is I had so many needles in me that the veins had begun collapsing and they'd switched wrists. And then they had a block of wood that they had fastened to my wrist, and the needles were hooked, fastened to that so they'd hold right still because my veins were collapsing and it was getting harder and harder to get stuff in me. And I remember when they took the block of wood off. And I don't remember what day it was after I came out of the coma. Might have been when I left the ICU, which was not when I came out of the coma, but probably 9 or 10 days later. 26. Yeah, I was in the hospital about a month and change. So anyway, baby, they took the needles out of me is a big deal for me. And it's marked today because in just a little while, I'm going to go get an infusion, an ozone infusion. So they're going to put another needle in me and drain the blood. Now, I don't know if you know what that is. You probably do if you're doing any alternative medicine at all, but they drain the blood. They take a liter or so of blood out of you and they actually put the bag on the floor, right? It's a regular hospital bag, and they stick a good-sized needle in you, and they drain you. Boom. And it's amazing how fast that blood runs out. You know? I mean, they put a needle in there. Feels like a big one, looks like a big one. And it just drains blood, and then they ozonate it and put it back in. So they take the same bag, do some stuff, ozone and everything, and then they hang it up on a regular IV thing and put it back in you. And I'm going to go do that today. I have had in the last 3 weeks since Christmas, so it's 15th, 16th, 17th of January right now, 16 plus 6 days, 22. So the last 3 weeks or so, a little bit more, I've had some reactions and been on some antibiotics and done some things. And for me, one night I had a bit of a fever, and for me, that's a 911. When I left the hospital 4.5 years ago, they told me if I ever got a fever again, it was 911. My lungs could not handle another infection. Now, I don't know if they were exaggerating, but I certainly don't have all my lung capacity back, and I may never get it back. They told me that, 2 years to never. So here's the point of that. Needles, in the case of the song, they took the needles out of me, and I ain't blind no more. The light has come. It's a miracle. I can see. And today I'm going to go get another needle, and it's for ozone, and it's for my health. Sometimes needles or pokey things that are hard on us, they feel like they're ugly, they're sad, they're hard, they're difficult to deal with. And sometimes they're a blessing. Maybe they're always a blessing. Maybe the needles I had then were blessings. They were certainly. They saved my life. After they got my heart restarted, it was, I think, Saturday morning when I died. So it might have been June 6th. It was past midnight probably. So Saturday morning, June 6th, in the wee hours, I died, and they were able to resuscitate me. It wasn't until Monday, the 8th, that they actually figured out what I had. They'd had time enough to take enough blood and grow enough cultures. And I came to on the 22nd or something. But anyway, the thing about this is needles or pokey things or things that are scary can be scary, or they can be a blessing. Now, I'm on this road to 50 million, and nothing is going to stop me. And on top of that, I'm doing everything I possibly can, needles or otherwise, to reach the goal that I have. Not because I want to say, yay, I reached the goal, but because I genuinely, with all my heart, am committed to helping 50 million of you serve with your gifts. I've discovered, and maybe you already know this, that when we are serving with our gifts, we are happiest and we develop the most as people. Our skills develop, our confidence develops, our capabilities develop. We are able to make the biggest difference, impact, and we're also able to make money, cash money, to both live on and to use to spread your empire, your message. So I would invite you to think about your message. What is your message? Sometimes people say your mess is your message. That's true. Sometimes people say your life is your message. I saw an interview the other day where Steve Hardison, who wrote the book, or he was the subject of the book, The Ultimate Coach, written by Alan Thompson and his wife, Amy. I don't know Alan, but I know Amy and Steve really well. And I love them both. And he had said, I'm not going to ever have a book written about me. No. And, Alan and his wife prevailed. And it wasn't because it was about Steve. He made the point of saying, it's not about me. I'm being Steve's voice, and I'm not about me. It's about you, the reader, and I want you to hear this message the same way. My question for you, you here now, it's not about me talking or this weird background or my needles. It's about your gifts and talents. Are you using them? Really? Are you using them to serve and bless those around you? Maybe you are. Is it this much? Or is it an expanding amount of infinitude? I don't know. I dare you to think about it and tell people how you're using them in the comments of wherever you watch this, please, because even if you are full on, my experience is 99% are either not, for whatever reason. I don't have time, I can't, I don't have any, I'm scared, whatever. Or if they are, they're playing really small. And if you stop and think about it, you know you are. If you're either not or playing small. And if you're playing full out, then I want to know you. And I want to know you anyway, because I love you. I love every single one of you, all of you, period. No judgment. I'm inviting you with all my heart to realize that every thought you have, every word you speak internally or externally creates your world. Because the more you think it and say it, inside or outside, it becomes who you are. One of the phrases I have in my PTAC, Personal Truth and Commitment document, which is my Bible, it says, I am at cause. I choose my being and call into existence every part of my experience. And the longer I live and the more I do this, the more I realize how unassailably true that is. And that is regardless of externalities like the weather or people doing stuff or getting sick or me dying in the hospital or anything else. It's true. And if you want to have a glorious, satisfying, wonderful, upgraded life, and you want to make money to doing it too, if you want to, your gifts and talents are the fastest key. Think about that. They are the key. Now, you can go invest in crypto, or you can go to college and get a degree in this, that, and the other, and you can have a job and make money at that. Or you can even be an entrepreneur. But I promise you the most fulfilling and rewarding life, including financially, is using your gifts. You were given those gifts for a reason. Some of them are tangible, like painting, art, music. Some are intangible, but no less effective, like listening and speaking. And I have a gift of a good voice. I get told that all the time, and it's funny. I don't think about it much, but again, yesterday, as I did a podcast, I wasn't a guest. I was the host and interviewing someone, and after the show, the guest said something about the voice that I have. It's a powerful, good voice, and I was reminded of a joke, or what to me was a joke. Excuse me. I was at a Ryan Dice event many years ago, and we were being called up, he asked for volunteers. It was a big room full of a lot of people. Who wants to come up and do a pitch on the microphone in front of the whole room? And I don't know, 30 or 40 people lined up on the side of the stage to come up and do a pitch. And there was a guy who was a big radio host, I think it was in LA, that was there to listen and this and that. And we had a chance to talk just before a little bit, and we all heard each other. And I don't exactly remember. What I remember is standing in line, and there was a tap on my shoulder. And I turned around, and unknown person, he said, can I be in front of you? And I thought, I don't care. Sure, go for it. And he said, thank you, because with the voice you have, I don't want to be after you. And I thought, wow, what a funny thing to say. And I laughed, and he laughed, and whatever, but it was an acknowledgement of a gift. So what are your gifts? Because it's actually not about me. I've spent a lot of time discovering mine, and I'm using them on purpose, and this is one of them. I have a gift of speaking. I have a gift of creating this platform. I'm inviting you to share your gifts on my platform. Would you like to be on my road to 50 million live with me like this on a day? Would you like to be on my podcast and spread your message? Use your gifts, or talk about how you're using your gifts. Maybe you have a business that's that way that you'd like to share. Would you like to be on my LA Talk Radio show? It's once a week live. LA Talk Radio's got hundreds and hundreds of thousands of listeners. That's a live show every Tuesday afternoon I'm starting. Tonight, it's episode 1. I'm doing it every week, and the next 3 weeks are full already. I'm looking for people who want to spread a message, meaning use your gifts and talents. So if you'd like to do that, I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you spread your message and do something to add good to the world. And maybe you're already doing all you want. That's fine. But if you want to, reach out to me. Needles. Needles are those things that make us better. Like the ones I had in the hospital, as painful as they were, and as much as my veins were collapsing, and they couldn't find them, and it was horrible. Everything, my whole wrist was purple, and both of them. It was awful. And, the antibiotics they were putting in me were so powerful, my veins were collapsing, and they'd been in there so long. Well, you know the drill if you've had that happen. So, but it was still for my benefit. I'm going to go get ozonated here in a minute. Needle in my arm again for my benefit. And it hurts. The pokey hurts, and the needle is big. Every time I look at it, I'm like, did you use a bigger one this time? Right? And those things are there to help us. Sometimes they're needles in the conscience. Sometimes they're about something we're doing, or not doing, or could do, and on and on and on. But those needles are for our growth, benefit, opportunity. So this is my little adventure today on my road to 50 million. My road to 50 million is I'm committed by October 14th. My first quarter's already gone, and my year started in October. By October 14th to help 50 million people. I don't even exactly know how I'm measuring that. I have YouTube downloads and podcast listens, and obviously have clients and things like that. And maybe there's a way to, guests that I have on shows or whatever. I don't even know yet, but I know I'm going to get there. I know that. I'm committed to do whatever it takes. 100% all in, no holds barred commitment. I'm looking for places to do that. If you can help me, I'd love to know. If you have a show or place I can spread this message of hope, growth, opportunity, divinity, using your gifts and talents, and my own experience with that would serve your audience, I'd love to talk about that too. But anyway, Right now, I'm here to love you, to lift you, to bless you, to encourage you, to give you everything I can in terms of that lift and encouragement. You're divine. You're here to serve. I would love to see how you are using your gifts and talents and to help you do it bigger, which might include audience, it might include monetization, it might include creating a business, it might include a lot of things. All of those things are things that I do and clients do, some more than others. Depends on what you want. But you have to want it. You have to be willing to find and serve with those gifts. Don't ignore the needles in your life. And in fact, you might want to seek some of them out. I've put a couple of links in the description to the podcast and an email link if you want to reach out to me, because I'm serious about these invitations and I can't wait to meet you. I'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.